Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for being a part of the 32nd annual Sprint NASCAR Media Tour hosted by Charlotte Motor Speedway. It is usually one of the highlights on the calendar for every year, and this year is no exception. And it's my distinct pleasure to act as the MC and the host today for Furniture Row Racing. Give you just a little bit of the background on this really vivacious and great little team. Furniture Row Racing, which began in NASCAR Sprint Cup campaign with 2 races in 2005, is coming off a really banner year. This Denver-based Colorado team made history by becoming the first single-car team to earn a spot in the chase. Let that sink in. It's the only time it's ever happened, and these guys did it last year. 2013 saw Furniture Row Racing capture 11 top 5s, 16 top 10s, plus 9 front row starting positions and a 10th place finish in the final point standings for an outstanding year. Of course, they're going through a big transition this year, mainly with the guy that sits behind the wheel of the number 78 Chevrolet SS. In late fall at Texas Motor Speedway, it was announced their driver will be Martin Truex Jr., who's handsomely represented over there. And Furniture Row Racing, for geographic features, continues to be unique in NASCAR as the only NASCAR Sprint Cup team headquartered west of the Mississippi in Denver, Colorado. Primary sponsor, Furniture Row, has established itself as one of the largest family-owned specialty home furnishing and bedding retailers in the country. The company operates more than 350 stores in 31 states, including a 4-store Furniture Row shopping center in Charlotte, which many of you have attended on previous media tours. And a special shout-out goes to the Charlotte Furniture Row complex and its employees for providing furniture. If you've been on one of the very comfortable couches and things that are available in the media area, that is all courtesy of our Furniture Row host here today. So let me introduce the folks that we have up here on the stage. We'll get started with our question and answer sessions here very shortly, and I think we might even have just a few curveballs on this as we move through the day. Of course, Joe Garone, who is the general manager of Furniture Row Racing and has been at the helm of this team since its inception, is here with us today. Joe, good to have you here. Thank you for hosting us. Also, Pete Rondo, the competition director. Pete, good to see you again. And Todd Barrier, the crew chief. And somewhat present with us today, a much slimmer, one-dimensional version of Martin Truex Jr., and we'll get into that a little bit later. Can you tell us what in the world, or maybe where in the world, is Martin Truex Jr. right now, Joe?
I don't know. What I can tell you about it is he's supposed to be here, and that's fact.
Well,
I have a sneaking suspicion maybe Dave Ferroni's behind this, gave him the wrong date or something. I'm not sure.
Well, Dave is a PR guy, and those guys are known to be just a little bit sneaky.
Yeah.
So you have to keep him out in front of him if you want to trust. We'll find out where in the world is Martin Truex Jr. in just a little bit. A couple of questions here before we open these up from the floor for Joe. You've been at the helm of this since day one, and as I was talking earlier, we've seen this almost evolve from a startup organization to last year. You had the chances to win a couple of races. You made the chase. This team became noticeable last year. What makes you feel good about moving the 78 Furniture Row team into the upcoming season?
Well, what comes to mind is our team's intact. We've got guys that have been on the team now for several years. Everybody that was with us last year is with us this year. It helps us to move off into the season, the new season, as a strong unit, ready to, we really wish the season didn't end in some ways. If we could have just kept the thing rolling, and having all the guys together, it kind of makes you feel like that's what's happening. So we're ready to go.
Yeah, more than just a nucleus to build on. Of course, the city of Denver in the news. They've got a team that's going to be playing up in New Jersey here in just a few days. You've got the Broncos, you have the NBA, the NHL, Major League Baseball. It's become a hotbed of professional sports. The acceptance level and the appreciation level for NASCAR in the Denver community, how do you feel about that?
We've seen it grow over the years. Certainly a lot of interest out in those markets. And I think with last year being the kind of season it was, I think local businesses, and when I say local, to that region, are taking a stronger look at NASCAR and the marketing power that NASCAR has, and having the ability to be involved in it. It raises a lot of interest, and you notice a difference.
All right, Denver Broncos in the Super Bowl this coming Sunday, taking on the Seattle Seahawks. I will poll all of you guys since you have vested interest. How does this one turn out?
Well, Denver's going to win.
Okay. You want to do score? You're going to. I mean, you're pretty confident.
I'm not that brave. I would say they're going to win by 14.
Okay. All right. The spread of 14 there is predicted by Joe Garone. Pete Rondo, your 5th season with Furniture Row Racing. Here again, just like Joe, you've seen the growth needle. What do you feel like is the number one thing that has to be done for this team to make that next step? You were in the chase last year. What gets you into victory lane this year and lets you become a championship contender late in the chase?
Well, we're really looking forward to it, actually, with our new driver here, carrying on hopefully right where we left off last year. So we were close to victory lane a few times here last year, but we're looking for more of it this year. As far as for me here, we're just trying to make sure that I get Todd and the guys what it is they need to do what they do the best.
Is that the number one responsibility of a competition director?
I think so. Yeah. Between that,
Todd thinks so. Yeah.
Well, we try to. We try to get him everything that he thinks he needs, anyways, and with getting the right things actually is what we're looking for.
All right. Thanks. Super Bowl prediction?
Denver.
Okay.
9.
By 9. Okay. Little bit less enthusiastic than what Joe did. We'll move over now to Todd Barrier. He's been the crew chief at Furniture Row Racing for a season and a half, and we talked about some of the stats that he's put up. 12 top 5s, 22 top 10 finishes, and 9 front row starts, with Martin Truex Jr. being his 3rd driver at Furniture Row. And how do you see his acclimation process going, Todd? What has to happen for this to be a smooth transition for Martin Truex Jr. into that 78?
Well, part of it, we've got to test a little bit already a couple times, and all of it went really well. We weren't really sure how that would go because, honestly, he and I and the team didn't have any history. So, but for the most part, that's stepped out there and it came together really well. So I think, that part of it is fine. We have different rules. A lot of things different with the car. A lot of things are different. So, in essence, we really are not going to know until we really get out there and get racing week in and week out with things as different as they are going to be for us with the cars, the way the cars are set up, plus the driver being different. But like Joe said earlier, it's the same core group of people, and we kind of pretty strong in that area. So at least we know we're not going to have to do anything but just keep crossing our T's, dotting our I's, and we should be good. You
made the movement last year from sort of upstart to being a team that we were talking a lot about, leading a lot of laps, being in contention, cracking the chase. How tough is that next step to go from there to start taking checkered flags?
Yeah, I felt like we had really good opportunity to win races, several races last year, 3 or 4 or 5 probably. And some of the things, we could have done better as a team. Some of the things were circumstances. I guess, at least we're there, and we feel comfortable knowing that there's going to be next week, and you're going to still get a shot at it again next week. We've, strengthened a lot of things that we felt like we were weak on, and I think from there, it's just a matter of us capitalizing on it. But I feel like we're, we have history upon last year to build on, and so that's encouraging for sure.
All right. Dave, are we still on our search pattern for Martin Truex Jr.? Do we still not know where in the world Martin Truex Jr. is? I'm sorry? We think we have found Martin Truex Jr.? So the answer is it looks a lot more comfortable than where we are in snowy Charlotte. So where in the world is Martin Truex Jr.? You want to illuminate us on that, Martin?
Can you see it? Can you see me?
Yeah. Yes, we can, and a lot of people are not really happy about how that looks there, considering it is snowing here, Martin.
I'm just, honestly, my biggest concern is getting sunburned.
Thanks. That's going over really well here. So where are you getting sunburned right now?
I'm in Anguilla.
All right, I'll have to follow up on that. Do you want to tell us, for most of us, where is Anguilla, since I don't think most of us probably got past that course in geography?
The only thing I can tell you is it's paradise.
Well, it's nice of you to share some time with us and to break away from your obvious vacation in Anguilla.
Yeah, Anguilla. We're like right across the ocean. about 10 miles, I think, from St. Martin. A lot of people know where St. Martin is, and I don't know, we're in the Caribbean, man.
I think,
Here's where we are.
I think we can almost hear the waves breaking in the background. Well, thanks for making some time for us on your vacation. We've got the rest of your team here. Pete and Todd and Joe are all here. So tell us how magnificent you guys are going to be this year.
Well, we're going to win every race. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I'm gonna try to refrain from saying the word excited because this is the second day and almost the end of the media tour, and I'm sure everybody's tired of writing excited down on their tablets. But no, honestly, I mean, really fired up about the season. Obviously, going in Furnace Row Racing, and getting to know Todd and getting to know Colby, our engineer, and Joe and Barney and everybody involved. They've really got a great program, and honestly, after all the things that happened last year, I couldn't be more pleased with the way everything is went over the off season, getting prepared for the new season. I think that things are lining up for us really well. Really feel good about the communication already, getting started with Cole and Todd, on making the race cars better, and trying to figure out what I need in the race cars to go fast. So we're all pumped up, we're fired up, we're ready to go racing, and Daytona's just around the corner. We'll get to show what we got there.
Yeah, that's nice. You can move from one beach to another, so that'll work out really well for you there. Martin, you had some pretty good years at Dale Earnhardt Incorporated and Michael Waltrip Racing, winning races there and making the chase. Talk about Martin Truex's goals now with Furniture Row and how they come into play.
Well, I think it's simple. I think that every team in the garage area, especially with the new format that's coming out, everybody wants to be in that chase. Everybody wants to race for a championship. At the end of the day, we all talk about it. That's what we're here for, is to race for a championship. And I've been fortunate enough to be in the chase a few times. I've been unfortunate enough to be kicked out of it before. And this year, honestly, I think that we're going to be a strong contender as far as getting in there. Like I said, there's a lot of unknowns. With all the rule changes, trying to figure out the setup to the car and all the things that are going to be different this year. There's going to be a lot of things to process, a lot of things to go through. But honestly, I feel really good about our chances. Going out, being competitive, and hopefully being consistent enough to get ourselves in that chase. And with the way it's looking, it's going to be one of them deals. If you're in it, you're going to have a chance. So we're looking forward to that, and certainly looking forward to getting to know Todd and Cole better and everybody that's shot there, and just going out and racing hard and having fun. And I think that the coolest thing about this team is, they're such a close, tight-knit group of guys, and they've come so far as a race team. I can't tell you, how much I'm looking forward to being a part of that, trying to help them grow to that next level. I hope I can bring some things to the team that maybe they hadn't seen before or hadn't been used to, and try to take them to that next level, because that's where we all want to go.
You talked about a lot of changes, a lot of new things. NASCAR announced its new qualifying package for next year. What's your initial thoughts on that?
Honestly, I think it's all great. I think that obviously we're all applauding NASCAR for going out and looking for something different, something more exciting, something to keep the fans engaged. I think that as far as the race teams go and as far as the drivers go, from what I hear, everybody's looking forward to the new rules. Everybody's looking forward to seeing how it's all going to play out, and it seems like the fans are really looking forward to seeing it as well. So there's a lot of things I think that are going to happen, especially with the qualifying stuff that they're talking about. There's a lot of unknowns right now. A lot of people think they have it figured out, I'm sure. But as we go down the road, it's going to be a learning process, and the more things we have to learn, I think the more fun it's going to be for me. I really enjoy, just getting in there and working hard and working with the team and trying to outsmart other people and try to figure these things out quick. And it's going to be a ton of fun to get involved in all that, and I'm looking forward to it.
Well, Martin, we appreciate your time. If you want to get questions with Martin, this is the only time he's going to be available. Is that right, Dave? No one-on-ones today. We're not charting anyone to to Anguilla to chat with Martin. But he's going to be available in this session now, and we'll also have mics available so you can ask our three principals up here on the stage your questions. And we've got the folks from Charlotte Motor Speedway working the room once again. So raise your hand. Keep in mind, we're not going to magically have him transported over into the breakout session. So raise your hand. Let's get started here. I think Wolfgang right back here, Dustin.
A question to you, Martin. I hope you can hear me. Wolfgang Wanzer from Germany. You're switching over from Toyota to Chevrolet. Despite the cars are more or less relatively equal, is there still a difference? And when?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. I can't answer that. I honestly haven't spent enough time in the car yet, in the Furniture Row Chevy. As far as testing went, I couldn't really feel a lot of differences. Obviously, there's a lot of setup changes, and with the ride out of the car and the springs and the shock combinations, it's so much different now. It was really hard to pick out big differences. Honestly, I think that across the board, the aerodynamics and the downforce and the drag and all those things are pretty similar between the manufacturers. So I don't see that being a big issue or a big change. I think that across the board, all the manufacturers are pretty close as far as that stuff goes, and I don't expect that to be a problem at all.
Okay. I know we have right up here, Dustin. While we're waiting for the mic to move around, have you adopted the Broncos too now as your Super Bowl favorite team, Martin?
Well, not so much. I honestly, Peyton Manning's amazing, so they're definitely my pick for the Super Bowl. If the Eagles were in it, I wouldn't be picking anyone but the Eagles, but I definitely want Denver to win, without a doubt.
All right. Honest answer there. Let's go right here.
Yeah.
Martin, Damian Sordelet with the Lynchburg News at Advance. The way last season ended, how important was it for you to get a fresh start and latch on to a team where you can have such a fresh start and really build on something new as you continue in your career?
Well, I think that, honestly, a lot of things happened last year, and I think that, the best thing for me was just to move on and try to forget about them. I think this definitely helps that process. I really enjoyed my time at MWR and all the things that we did there together, and we were able to build that organization up to, a championship contending team, and that was a lot of fun, and I really honestly hated the way that ended, and so just being able to get away from it and start over and try to forget about all the bad things that happened, because there were so many good things that happened there over the 4 years that I spent. Being able to just get away and forget about it and start over with a new team is definitely something that's been a good thing for me. Again, I've really been looking forward to this year, and we've already been working pretty hard on getting our stuff figured out and getting all the ducks in a row, because there's so many things when you join a new team. The small things like, how do you like your seat? How do you like your steering wheel? How do you like your shifter? What do you want during the race? What kind of things does your spotter need to tell you? There's so many little things that we take for granted when we spend, years upon years with one team. You kind of take it for granted, and they know all that stuff. Where do you like your brake buys at this track? What kind of transmission ratios do you like for restarts here? So there's a lot of things that we're going to have to figure out, and it's been fun to just get started on all that and try to get that communication going and getting all those things going. And honestly, it's really made it easy to put last year in the rearview mirror.
Stan?
Yeah, Stan Creekmore with RPMtonight.com. Martin, talk, if you will, about the fact that starting at Daytona or starting at Talladega actually sounds difficult, but yet isn't it harder than if the season started at Phoenix? I mean, easier than if the season started at Phoenix or Las Vegas or Charlotte even?
Starting at Daytona, yeah, I mean, it's definitely the easiest place you could ever start the season. I mean, honestly, until Sunday of the 500, there's really no pressure on anyone. As long as you're guaranteed a spot in the field, obviously, you get a lot of practice time. You get a lot of time to get to know each other and get things figured out and get your package, where you feel comfortable with it for the duels and then getting ready for Sunday. So, yeah, it's starting off with a new team. There's no better place to start the season, just because you get so much track time and you're there for 10 days and you really kind of get to to feel each other out and get into that groove and get into that rhythm as a team. And so definitely a great place to start out, and it'd be a lot more difficult to start the season at Phoenix, that's for sure.
Other questions? Show of hands, please. All right. Well, what level of SPF sunscreen are you using, Martin?
What was that?
What level of sunscreen do you have on right now?
I'm pretty white, so I use 30.
All right. Good, because we don't want you sunburned when we see you in Daytona. Once again, thank you for carving out some time. We have another question? Oh, sorry about that, Dustin.
Thank you. Martin, this is Dustin Long of MRN.com. With moving over to Furniture Row Racing, you're with a single-car team, but obviously they have the RCR Alliance. What do you hope for? What do you expect in working with the RCR drivers? Because those are guys that you haven't worked with before.
Yeah, honestly, not real sure. I mean, I think that, obviously one thing I'm really looking forward to is working with Ryan Newman. He's absolutely one of my best friends in this world. And the past couple of years, we've really become good friends and spend a lot of time together, during the race weekends, going fishing and stuff. So really looking forward to working with him. Obviously Ty Dillon's a, rookie that looks like he's, got a lot of potential. I've worked with Paul Menard for many, many years at DEI from the time he started nationwide, coming in and through up to the Cup Series. So I know Paul well, and I have a lot of respect for him as well. And, I think for us as our team, not really being kind of separated from RCR, I think it's important that we get those lines of communication going. I know that they had a great foundation last year with Kurt and their drivers, with Kevin, and I know that they work very closely. Todd and the guys work very closely with everyone at RCR, and obviously it really helped them a lot. But I also think, from what I hear, that our guys at Furniture Row really brought a lot of information and a lot of help to RCR, and I think that's going to help us obviously this year. It's going to help me for sure, getting used to the new cars and going back to Chevrolet and all that's involved with that. So there's a lot of good things about it. I think that anytime you can lean on teammates or have that, kind of that catch fence, so to speak, if you're having a bad weekend and you're way off, and, one of their guys are running decent, you can get some help. I think that's always a good thing. But, I think moving forward for all of us, we all definitely want to keep that relationship strong and get those lines of communication open and flowing, and, so we can work together and help each other. And, because at the end, when you're racing for championships, you're going up against four and sometimes more than four-car teams. So we'll definitely need that on our side for sure.
Well, once again, Martin, any other questions from the floor? We have one more here. Okay.
Dwight Drum, racetech.com. Martin, is just a real quick question. What is Paradise a good place to shake off the cobwebs and get ready for the new season?
Vegas? Did you say Vegas?
Paradise. I'm sorry, Paradise. Where you're at?
Oh, where I'm at now? Yeah, it's a great place. Look out your window and then look out mine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Could that not have been better timing? That wasn't even planned. So yeah. Honestly, here's the deal. So that was perfect. All right. Every year, 6 of us, me and Sherry and my sister and her husband and Sherry's sister and her husband, we all go on a vacation this week of every single year. So this was already planned. The media tour came up. I was like, oh no, what are we going to do? I really hate to, I'd already paid for the hotel room and they weren't going to refund my money. I'm like, what am I going to do? And so they were like, oh, we'll figure it out. We'll do Skype or something. So it worked out great. Thank you guys so much for understanding. I really wish I was there with y'all.
No, you don't. No, you don't. No.
I turn around and look behind me and see that it's not snowing. I'm pretty damn happy.
I'm sure that's the first drink delivery of the day, right?
First one.
Okay.
Guaranteed.
Just wanted to make sure. Martin, thanks again. Enjoy the rest of your vacation.
Thank
Martin
you.
Truex Jr. in Anguilla, spending some time with us.